Hey everybody, I'm back with one more in this Anti-Xeno Conflict Zone series. For the medium intensity, I'm using a recording of a session I did that ended up being totally solo. So I wasn't open, but nobody happened to be there. The same ship as the others, build info on the screen as usual, but it's the same Alliance Challenger as before. And in this solo playthrough, we end up encountering 8 Cyclops, 1 Basilisk, and 2 Medusas. So it's a long one. It ended up, the recording was over an hour and a half. I may edit a few parts out. If there's any time where I was just waiting and repairing, I may clip that down. But here we go. So when we join the fight here, I see that it's a fresh progress bar, so this is brand new. So that means we have a scout phase at the beginning, which I've skipped in the other videos because I joined them just at the end of it. But in this case, we have to kill some scouts first before the interceptors will show up. Now, I personally tend to not want to waste my ammo on scouts, so what I do to get through this phase as quickly as possible is find scouts that are being targeted by the NPCs and help them along a little bit with my the very minimal damage that comes off of my size 1 beam turrets. So anyway, this goes on for a few minutes. I'll skip ahead. And once you've killed enough of them, we'll see this bond appear, signifying the first phase is over. There it is. In a medium, it is 300,000 credits. That differs depending on the intensity of the conflict zone. So now interceptors will show up. In a medium, in most of them, I think, the high might show 3 at the same time, but in the medium and the low, we typically get 2 right off the top, and then a steady stream of them after that. Spaced out so that you have time to hopefully keep a lid on them. So there I'm eyeballing where the other one's coming in, I think. Yep, there they go. Neutralize those shutdown fields. And I'm the only one in here, so I will just pick one and begin. Both of these first 2 happen to be Cyclopses. So since it's only me and NPCs in this scenario the whole time, there's a lot less damage is going to go on. It's very hard, rare I should say, for the NPCs to actually shoot down a heart. You will see them exerting hearts on Cyclopses by themselves pretty regularly. Now that the first heart is down, it's happily using its lightning attack. And the NPCs have exerted another heart, so I'll go pick that one off. There we go, nice edge-on shot there. Shield's already dropped. Try and hit that heart from behind. Not a very good angle. Just avoiding the swarm attack there. And I was a little late on my heat sink. So I took a couple of shots to the face there before sniping that heart off, but not a lot of damage. And swarm missiles. And we have the surge from the second to last heart. I think I narrowly avoided those swarm missiles. Saying hi to everybody in the squad. 07, loose screws. One shot to exert the last heart, 2 to kill the heart, and then it looked like maybe just 1 or 2 to finish off the hull there. So quickly check the modules, nothing's damaged, everything's in great shape so far. So now I'm going to go find the other interceptor. This one turns out to be a Cyclops as well. Did not do a very good job of matching velocity there, but he did another spin. So here we go. So that was a correct use of a heat sink. As it faced me and I was a little out of range, I fired the heat sink soon enough that by the time I got into range, the Thargoid never even shot at me. And now it's taking fire from an NPC, which is going to whittle down the shield quickly. We appreciate that. There's the shield already. And I wasn't expecting it to go that quick, so I'm quite out of range. And the NPCs exerted that heart. One more careful shot. There we go. Shield is down, it looks like a heart is exerted already. I really thought those last 2 or 3 shots were each going to take out the heart, but sometimes the pellets don't line up. That's the thing about shard cannons. There's a lot of damage, but it spreads enough that sometimes you just get unlucky with the spread and they don't manage to hit exactly the right spot. Here is the second to last heart shutdown field, and there's already a heart exposed, so let's see how quickly I can change my vector and get in there while trying to refill the system's capacitor that I just spent. Make sure I don't crash into anything. For a Cyclops, we still have time here. Uh-oh, missiles. Trying to turn so they hit the belly of the ship. I was a little too close to avoid them entirely. There we go. We'll finish it off. And now would be a great time to check on the damage from those missiles. except we get another interceptor coming right now. Here's the surge. I'm gonna look around for it, find it. There it is. Checking damage. One of those guns is below 80%. And then down at the bottom, there's a module package that has taken some damage. So we'll set both of those to repair and go find that new interceptor. That's all going well, and at this point I decided to throw on a repair limpet as I approach the new interceptor. Here we go for the attack. The NPCs have exerted the heart. And a little tap will knock it off. So now the interceptor is chasing me and turns around here in a second to watch that massive fleet of attacking NPC ships and surely observing its own death sentence. They've exerted another heart, which I will take out in 2 shots again, obviously with a lot of help from the NPCs, who are managing to do some heart damage here, of course. So wanting to close that distance and start an attack run. The heart's exerted again. Goes down quickly. So we're watching for a shutdown field now. And there it is. To refill those capacitors and get back in there. The shield is already down. Finishing it off very quickly. Okay, so at this point, I got a little distracted by a phone call. There was one module that was minorly damaged, and I drifted around for a while, but then came back to it. So I just made a little edit to skip a minute or so ahead. That module is back online, and here we are coming into, this is where it gets interesting, this is a Medusa. So here I've come into the fight with the Medusa, and it looks like I'm about to engage, and I have not checked my stocks of anything. So at this point I only have 4 heat sinks going into this attack run. This is the first attack run on a Medusa, so its hull is the strongest it will ever be. Luckily, I did decide to bail on that attack run and avoid these missiles. Ooh. One of them, two of them maybe connected there, which is not great. Medusa missiles are a lot stronger, but luckily I did not just try to tank them. So I've spent 2 heat sinks already. We're on the 3rd. Trying to get that heart, and it retracted. So I am wisely going to bail on that attack run and synth more ammo and check on my module health. Looks like just a little damage to that MRP. Not much else going wrong. So it's time to refill heat sinks before we go in and try to finish that heart. You do not want to continue an attack run if you're out of heat sinks. The only thing I could have done would be to go into silent running, which will start to do module damage to you, especially the guns, since that's the source of the heat, which can put you in a bad spot. So here I've refilled one of my launchers. We're beginning the attack run again. Ooh, the NPCs have exerted that heart again. So that's very good on them. Try to hit it from behind. It's spinning around again, fire another heat sink, but it didn't end up facing me anyway. I'm mostly keeping very good range here. There we go, finished it off. Just at the end of my heat sink, so that was pretty well timed. Once again, check for any new damage, and I'm gonna go ahead and refill that launcher that only has 1 in it. It looks like I hesitated there. I should definitely refill it. And the shield's already down. Great job, NPC army. Although they are taking a lot of fire from that Medusa. Your sacrifice will be honored. As I just orbit around the outside, letting my heat get very high, because it hardly matters, as nothing is attacking me right now. Except if I actually damage my ship with heat. There we go. Heart is out. Oops, shot at the wrong one there first. Now I can see it. Oop, almost got too close there. Point the nose of the ship down and boost again to create more curve around him. And it sounds like there's another, a Cyclops has arrived, and so there's 2 swarms now, and I missed finishing off that heart, so we've got to re-exert this heart on the Medusa. The range is kind of long here. Oh, try to get away from those missiles. And we're down to just a single heat sink again. So what am I doing here? Yeah, I'm abandoning that attack run. And we won't start it again until I refill the heat sinks, which is a good and wise move. So far, I'm avoiding most of the damage. Nothing's been too severe, but it's because I'm bailing on these attack runs at the right time. Trying to continue without enough heat sinks would surely get me a lot of damage. So that's the second set of missiles that have come to me, and I'm realizing that there's nobody around me. Refill the other heat sink launcher. So we're pretty far from the action, and there is another interceptor that arrived that has sort of peeled off all of my NPC henchmen. So Not that I need their damage to kill the Medusa, but it sure helps if the swarm, and especially the swarm's missiles, are distracted. So at this point, I'm kind of taking the long way around and trying to lead the Medusa back into the crowd. There's more missiles. We're gonna boost in pretty close to the vector that I was already traveling in, so I don't lose much speed. And now we're getting into the thick of it. Here is everybody else, so let's begin the attack. Hopefully the swarm will get distracted soon. He's tricked me into flying backwards a little bit here, and I got off time with my heat sinks. So I spiked some heat there and took some shots right to the face. But the heart was destroyed. Just damage to the MRP, easy to fix. And now those missiles are thankfully heading for somebody else. Keeping an eye on the other interceptor and the NPCs. I really would like to stay in the thick of it here so that not every volley of missiles comes right for me. There, the shield just popped, so it's time to go in for an attack, and I see a volley of missiles coming from that swarm, which means that won't happen again for at least a little while. Using boost here to change my vector quickly when it's chasing other people, you pretty much have to. A lot of decent hits on that heart. And probably, oh, that was okay. That was pretty good for a Medusa heart. I must have been connecting quite a bit there. So that was pretty good. Only spent 2 heat sinks on that attack run and stayed completely safe. So just 3 more to go here. The shield just dropped. So here we go. Heart is exerted and it's shooting lightning at somebody, which keeps it pretty still, but unfortunately it's edge on to me, so I'm not able to hit the heart very effectively. It's a little better. Here we go. Just making sure the system's capacitor stays topped off whenever it's convenient. Quick check of the modules, haven't really taken much in the way of damage. All's been going pretty well. Looking at that swarm's ring formation, it looked like they were going to shift there, but they're staying in the ring. So I'm watching for missiles at this point. And here they come. So I'm moving in kind of a downward direction. I'll point the nose down and boost there, so I'm preserving most of my velocity, but forcing the missiles to turn. So once again, I'm finding myself not near anybody else. So we'll do a little breeze by the interceptor here and lead it back the other way, back into the crowd. And here I once again got a little distracted by a phone call and kited the Medusa around, eventually bringing it back into the crowd. And here we'll get to the shield dropping and ready to begin the attack again. So we just skipped ahead a minute or two. Swarm missiles I hear, thankfully hitting somebody else. That heart is ready to go if I can just get close enough. And it retracted, so we'll have to re-exert. There we go. He's doing a reload animation, so I had to boost to catch up. Ooh, we're right in his face now. And we got the heart, but unfortunately taking lightning to the face. So the danger here is not much from the actual lightning, but if they keep us in one place for long enough for the swarm to react and missile us, it can get pretty bad. So here's the missiles. Ooh. Looks like 2 probably hit. Some of them were aimed at another ship. Ooh, look at that. MRP is down to 20% from those direct hits. I don't think I had looked at the guns yet, but wanted to throw a repair limpet on. Let's see if I peek at the modules here in a second to see if any others were damaged. That cutter is taking a face full, I would say. All right, here we go. Looks like the guns came out okay. Yeah, nothing's too bad. That was really pretty lucky that the missiles managed to miss everything important, because that could have been devastating. Probably I'm thankful to be in the crowd, have not all the missiles connect with me. I guess I'll call that cutter my meat shield. So that was the second to last heart as well, and I think because I triggered the lightning, we skipped the shutdown field. We did a quick little lightning bait, which was not intentional, but was effective. And I definitely got ringed by the swarm just then. It's probably not an issue. It was already aggravated anyway. And if it wasn't, it would have been very soon. So the heart retracted, and I'm nearly out of heat sinks. So this is going to be another moment where I can fall back just a little bit and refill the launcher before I continue. May as well use a repair limpet at the same time. And there we are. Refill the other launcher as well. So far in this fight, I've taken absolutely no caustic damage. It would have been better to have another heat sink instead of that caustic sink launcher, but we'll see how the rest of it goes. It's just kind of the loadout I'm rolling with these days. I don't really think about it. But it would have meant synthing heat sinks a little less often. Okay, so here we go for another attack run with a final heart. And I think it's already been damaged some. I don't have a scanner, so I don't know how much. There it is, that's finished off. So just hull now, we'll throw up a couple of shots before the shield pops up, since the damage is permanent now. And I'll go ahead and edit ahead a little bit here as well, since I needed to kite the interceptor around waiting for the shield to fall, bring it back into the crowd. And there isn't, ship's all in good shape. There wasn't really anything else to do. So there's the shield just fell. So we're ready to take out the hull on this thing. Finish it off. There she goes. Medusa kill. So now, I know everything's all set. We'll turn my attention to the other interceptor, a Cyclops, that has shown up. In the meantime, throw on a quick repair limpet. Probably could have done that while I was kiting the Medusa around, but oh well. So a heart has exerted here. We heard that roar from the Cyclops just there. And I see it's using its lightning attack, which means the intrepid army of NPCs has managed to kill a heart while I fought that Medusa. So good for you, NPCs. There goes another one. With Cyclopses, this pattern of letting the NPCs exert the heart seems to work just fine. It's not that I am precious about my ammo. It only takes 1 or 2 or 3 shots for a Cyclops. here neutralizing this shutdown field. So yeah, not that I'm precious with my ammo in that way, it's just I'm orbiting just out of range while the shield is up, and when the shield falls, the NPCs tend to have a heart exerted by the time I close my orbit enough to attack. So good for them. Very quick one-shot exert there, and that was the last heart, so we'll finish it off. And those are one desperate caustic missile launched just before it exploded. So now we'll check over the modules. There's a couple of things that need some minor repairs, so I may as well throw that on because right now the battlefield is empty of big targets. So anything below 80 is a problem. I don't see any of that, so we're just repairing a few things that are getting close. It's a scout caustic missile, almost got me. Skipping ahead now about a minute till when the next interceptor arrives. I see the space distortion, there's the portal for the new interceptor. And then just now I carelessly fly through the caustic cloud left by the previous interceptor and have to eject my caustic sink. So I guess it was worthwhile bringing it along. There's the interceptor, so we'll watch for the surge. And there it is. Closing range. A couple of those shots look pretty good, but getting unlucky with the pellets landing. Here we go. So this looks a bit like scratching my face and not paying attention to the controls for a second. And we're back. I know I didn't take any damage, but I habitually check the modules. Good idea to keep an eye on what's going on in case something surprised me. Those NPCs still doing a great job of exerting hearts. There we go. Shield down, move in. And I see another interceptor arriving just there. So we'll get ready to move pips into systems. Watching, watching, watching. Expecting a shutdown field. And it's still not happening. Still not happening. I feel like the moment I take my eyes off of them, I'll fire it. But a heart's already exerted over here, so I guess we're okay. It's already firing its main cannon, so I think we're okay, and we're not going to get a shutdown field from that one. It's time to just proceed. Now I'm chasing this interceptor pretty hard. He turns and banks the other way. I'm going to get a few shots from behind, but at this point, I'm not ready for the turn he makes right here. And lines right up on me. I get the heart kill, but get caught by the lightning attack. So once again, that makes me vulnerable to missiles. I'm just pouring on some damage in the meantime in case I can exert another heart, which I did. Try to kill it, but a shield goes up too soon. And there is the surge from the second to last heart being destroyed. Checking to see if anything got damaged. Just the usual. Module reinforcement takes a little bit of a beating. No swarm missile strikes, fortunately. Checking the shield is still up. And there it goes. Caustic missiles. I'm going to let myself go the other way before boosting back in. It's pretty well avoided. There it is. That was the last heart. You could have kept shooting. My vector was wrong. I bet I could have got the kill if I fired a couple more times. I guess I was still a little worried about that caustic missile. So right here, I hear the swarm come up, and it sounds like they ringed me. I'm watching for missiles from them when I get a caustic missile alarm from the interceptor. So we're going to boost to avoid that, but unfortunately, here come the swarm missiles. Just after I boosted in the wrong direction to avoid them, we got scouts firing caustic missiles. It was a pile-on of attacks just then, unfortunately. Looks like they didn't do significant damage to my guns. So I got out of it okay, but... that was a series of unfortunate errors. Sloppy flying that led to a... we'll call that a missile kerfuffle. So the beam lasers got hit pretty hard. Once again, that's not a huge problem because they do still vent heat even if they're malfunctioning. So the module reinforcement will need fixing. Something else in there. I think the shutdown field neutralizer maybe I threw on repair. So I'll do another quick edit here to cut a couple of minutes out, but these repairs run for a little while, and my AFM is getting pretty close to empty. I'm interrupting the repairs on the beam laser as it's sufficient to run, and I don't want to wait any longer. So now I have one beam laser. I'm going to start getting a little closer to this interceptor. I want that other one to be over 80%. It's around 75 right now. Not that it's a big problem, but it's nice to have the small amount of damage. Every little bit of damage brings those shields down quicker in a really long fight like this with 8 Cyclopses to get through. It helps. So there, I let the beam laser go 100%, and we're refilling the AFM now. Need to turn on the beam laser. And now we have a full AFM again. Here we go on the next interceptor. That one was apparently hanging by a thread, or I don't know, Cyclops hearts aren't that strong, but I think it had been damaged before I got there. We see it going all yellow for the lightning attack. Unable to chase me down, it's going to turn and try to catch somebody else. And looks like it's successful. That shield is already down. I drifted too far away. I'm more than halfway through the progress bar at this point. Now, coming up here in a moment, we'll see one of the ways the interceptors can cheat nowadays. As of the update that added the glaive to the game, something about the lightning attack changed, and now they can shoot it backwards. So it looked like it was lining up on somebody else, but then it switched to using me as a target after the attack started and spun around real quick to connect. So I took the heart out, but this sort of cheap lightning attack held me down for a moment or two. Glancing at my hull, it's below 90, so fair game to throw a repair limpet on. Caustic missiles are incoming, so we won't boost directly at them, but in a nice wide arc. Module reinforcement took a little damage during the lightning attack. Right here, I spot the remnants of a hyperspace portal. Another interceptor has joined the battlefield. So I'll be watching for a shutdown field from him. So the scouts have annoyingly shot my limpet off. Oh well. And that scout caustic missile connected. But my caustic sink absorbed it fully. Alright, that's second to last heart on him. So we didn't get a shutdown field a moment ago from the new interceptor, but we ought to for this one, unless I was cold enough and the NPCs were all far enough away. It doesn't seem like anybody's right here. That's an anaconda. Yeah, okay. He couldn't have been that far away. Checking the shield, and it's down. Let's go in for the last heart and the kill. boost and use the landing gear there to brake, limiting the forward velocity from the boost. And of course I made that classic mistake of rushing in when the interceptor has stored caustic missiles for me, and so they shoot out just as I get there and I'm too close to avoid them. So a couple of modules took some damage, not too bad. Synthing new heat sinks for that launcher that's empty, and there is the new interceptor. I am looking to synthesize ammo, but I couldn't yet while the heatsink was still reloading. So here we go. Now we can resupply the shard cannons that are getting very low.
Weapons rearmed.
And we continue the fight with another Cyclops. So yeah, this scenario did turn out to be a bit of a Cyclops parade, but punctuated by larger interceptors, so that made it more fun and more challenging. More fun than just the low intensity ones where it really is just Cyclopses, and on super rare occasions one Basilisk. And there's Heart 1 on this Cyclops. It's a bit of a challenge doing one of these CZs all solo. There's definitely, it's long enough battle that there's a lot of refilling ammo and other things that you need to manage, repairing, keeping track of when to use your repairs. You know, I could easily make more mistakes and run out of limpets. So at this point I'm pretty far from the battle, and I think I'm kiting this Cyclops back toward the center of the conflict zone, so I'm boosting toward the conflict zone center and then rotating the ship back so that my turrets can just reach that interceptor, and there we go. Keep hitting it, dragging it along, and also allows me to keep track of the shields because I can see that blue hit indicator on my sensor panel. Looking around at the other ships, those are who I want to be near. And we can hear the radio comms again, so right here I'm going to, I'm followed by the interceptor, so I could slow down and begin a normal orbit insertion, applying some side thrust there to get the spin going. But just as I'm about at the right speed, the swarm missiles come in. So I need to abandon that. And now that we're back in the crowd, the interceptor's targeting other people and getting its hearts exerted by the NPCs, we can go back to not being the constant target of swarm missiles. A little far away, but still connected with that shot. Habitually checking my module damage after every heart kill. Another caustic missile that I was too close to avoid. And we got a shutdown field from a brand new interceptor. Quick glance at that, looks like a Cyclops. Wasn't expecting that quick turn. I was not under heat sink just then, so took a couple of shots, but the Cyclops main cannon's not very strong. There's the other interceptor with a heart exerted. I could switch targets and get that one started, but there's a surge coming here, so hold that thought. And now the shield is down anyway on this one, so I may as well go finish the job. I can hear a swarm very close. That was worrying me, but I guess we're okay. Caustic missiles have come out, so I'll accelerate along my current path to avoid those. Make a nice arc on the way back. This interceptor has a shield up now. Did the NPCs take out its last heart? Yes, they did. So, spin around. Fine. Oh, I had turned the right way, just not quite far enough. There he is. Next target. Another kind of distant shot, but good enough to get the kill. Hear that roar. There we go. A bunch of these are happening a little outside of optimal range, closer to 2 kilometers, but getting good spread with the shard pellets, so it's fine. Heart kill is a heart kill. So I'm watching my ammo right now. The shard cannons on the left just fired their last round. Just after the heart went down, I fired the last round out of the gun, so we'll synth ammo in those. And he's going to do a shutdown field. So I'll just have time to set the synth on the second cannon and catch that with the neutralizer. The shield is already down, ready to go in for the last heart in the kill. And the caustic missiles came and tried to dodge him. Down to just one heat sink, so I'll need to refill those.
Target destroyed.
Checking those heat sinks, checking the hull numbers. All right, let's start the heat sinks refilling. Checking for other damage, repairing anything in there. The empty launcher is refilled, and we're zooming in on the next customer. Getting pretty close to the end of the scenario here. So what does emerge? For those keeping score, that darker color, more orange color, is a Basilisk. I'm a little outside of optimal range here, but pouring on damage, we're able to exert the heart. Not in a great orbit. Took a little damage there, but got the heart killed, and we're off to the races. We'll go check to make sure nothing got hit too badly. Just hull damage there for the most part, so we'll set a repair limpet and begin to circle this Basilisk while its shield depletes. And we'll go refill that sink launcher that's only down to 1. Since this isn't a Cyclops, it's possible I'll need to have multiple heat sinks on an attack run. So I'd prefer to synth them ahead of time rather than repair damage after the fact, if possible. Trying to add a little bit of orbit to that vector there by boosting at an angle to the Thargoid, but it didn't work out very well. So once again, aiming down and boosting to close range again, exert, and finish off the heart. Three more to go there. And there is another portal, new interceptor coming in. We'll keep an eye on that and watch for a shutdown field. Only minor damage. I hear the shutdown field, no alert, but I could hear it charging, luckily. I'm looking around for the interceptor. I think it's below me, kind of behind. Lost track of it in the moment there, but so the Basilisk shield is down, closing in. caustic missiles I'll do my best to avoid. I'm just narrowly missing them. Heat sink and 2 more shots. The heart is destroyed.
Heat sink deployed.
Swarm roaring in my face there, but didn't really come of anything. So this shield is still up. Orbiting around it, making sure it stays a little bit close to the crowd for the sake of distracting that swarm. A lot of decent shots in range there. Maybe getting unlucky with the pellet hits. And the heart has retracted. But he's shooting his lightning now, so it'll come back out and get finished off. Actually, that looked like the NPC got it right before I pulled the trigger. Hanging by a thread, I presume. And his shutdown field. So we're on the last heart for this Basilisk. I see the other interceptor, the other new interceptor buzzing around. Watch carefully on the left as it comes up in front of the ring so we can see the shape. Right here. That's a Medusa. And I recognized it right away and thought, it is time to get this Basilisk off the game board. Because I do not want to fight a Medusa. Look at the size of that swarm, the two swarms next to each other, the Medusa swarm and the ring formation. I do not want to fight a Medusa with a Basilisk chasing me. Basilisks are faster, and it would make an orbit very difficult. So we need to get it off the battlefield. And I'm just taking 3 caustic missiles right to the face there, damaging my modules. I hear swarm missiles incoming. This all just went very badly. These 2 swarms. I really want this guy dead. Trying these bad rear shots, almost taking damage there. He's missing me. And the heat sink popped. Can I get it? Fire my last heat sink. Yes, finished it off. Okay, so that's just a hull. All hearts destroyed. Module reinforcement absorbed a lot of damage there. Checking everything else and synthing heat sinks. refill the system's capacitor. Looks like we've drifted away, which is good for now. How's everything going in module health?
Weapons rearmed.
Starting the refill on the second heatsink launcher. So heat sinks are back. Bringing this Basilisk back into the crowd. Synthesis gets interrupted if you take any damage at all, so I didn't mind being out of the crowd while I refilled my heatsink launchers. But now it would be great to have NPCs firing on that to drop the shield faster. Now right here we hear a roar. Which comes from that Medusa. And that is the roar of an exerted heart. The NPCs have exerted a Medusa heart. Congratulations, NPCs. And there, we finished off the Basilisk, so I can turn my attention now to the Medusa. And having a heart exerted, I will try to get some damage onto that. Letting my temperature go very high. There we go. And the heart has retracted. And what's going on? My heat's too high. I'm using heat sinks. I didn't notice until just then, but my weapons, I did not have 4 pips in weapons. So I took a little bit of damage from the Medusa there, even though I was correctly using heat sinks. And then he surprised me there. It took a little bit more damage. But now we're using heat sinks correctly while it focuses me, and I finished off that heart. So a little bit of damage. Throw a repair limpet out, and I should check modules next. Heat sinks are in decent shape. Purge that caustic sink launcher. I haven't looked at the modules in a while, and there was a lot of damage in there between the last couple of attack runs. So now watching the video, I'm curious where my modules are, but oh, now I check. Oh, not that bad. 80%. Looks like all the guns are still intact. Could have been a lot worse. I have to say that being this close to the end of this long scenario with no other commanders in here to speed things along, seeing the Medusa show up as what will probably be the last interceptor was a little grueling, but I do like fighting Medusa. I think it's my favorite looking Thargoid. And there's a sweet spot there of it's very difficult. It's a very powerful ship. without being so powerful that it's just a headache to tackle at all. Like the hydra, solo kills on a hydra takes so long and pretty well always involve refilling ammo, even if it's just one. So the Medusa ends up being my favorite to fight. So one of my shard cannons on the right side are out of ammo. I guess I'm deciding that heart's exerted. I should just stick it out. It's like all my cannons. I only have 8 rounds left. Is that heart still exposed? No, it's not. So we'll back off and refill our ammo.
Weapons rearmed.
All right. Fresh shard cannon ammo. New heat sinks.
Hydra movement drone.
I threw another repair limpet out, but the shield is down. The caustic sink launcher is repaired enough to re-enable, so we can definitely move in and attack. I think I'm probably wanting to get a little bit more life out of this repair limpet before I get in close and potentially have it shot off. It has been a long fight and I have used many limpets, though it looks like I have 5 left. That'd be fine. But we'll kite it back to the center of the fight for the sake of the distraction on the swarm again, and let that repair limpet run for a while longer. Doesn't look like there's much out here as far as NPCs. There's somebody. Okay, slowing down. Starting in orbit. And just then the interceptor turns away anyway.
Successful.
Begins shooting at an NPC, so. And in just a moment here, we're going to get a system message saying that control has been secured. So at this point, system control is going back to humanity, and technically I don't need to do this scenario anymore, but I'm gonna finish off this Medusa. And that poor NPC is getting lightninged and hammered with the cannon and missiled by the swarm. The least I could do was kill this heart in their honor. Here we go. There's the message. Thargoids are defeated in this system. So I guess technically this Medusa kill and the end of the scenario won't count, but nevertheless I did my part. So right here, the Medusa turns on me, and I use the heat sink at just the right time, bait the lightning, and then he starts shooting. Take a little bit of damage, but then I've got the orbit moving correctly and managed to dodge the rest of it. Taking a couple more shots from the rear to boost to catch up. Another heat sink. Those sound like swarm missiles. But luckily I was moving away from the swarm already, so I didn't bother to even look. And we finished the heart. No major module damage. So during this attack run coming right up here, I have 4 heat sinks here. I'm firing one now and moving in, but just now swarm missiles hit from very close range. Right there. And damage the heat sink, and it expends its last ammo. And I'm trying to keep some sustained fire on there, but there I've just run out of heat sinks, so I have to bail. I probably, if I had still had that one left, I probably could have stayed in and finished off that heart, but the missiles robbed me of that. So getting those heatsink launchers fixed up.
Module repaired.
The Medusa shield is down. Heart is exerted, that roar there. So at this point, I'm thinking I should interrupt my heat sink repair since they're over 80%. Since the first one is, get the second one moving over 80%, and then I can rejoin the attack, but I have not noticed yet that I haven't refilled their ammo yet. So there, I'm switching it online, and like I'm about to attack, and then I look over at my heat sinks. No ammo. So never mind. Back into a wider orbit. Now I need to avoid damage while these are synthesizing.
Weaponry arms.
Ready to close range and
Weaponry arms.
get back in there. Hearts out and finished. Hanging by a thread from the previous attack run. Those are my 3 caustic missiles. I left laser range there and my ship warmed up, and then when I came back into range, the caustic missiles that the interceptor had saved up fired. And I am out here on my own with the Medusa and a whole lot of scouts. Very far from the center of the zone, so we should fly back that way. Here's our friends. And there goes the shield. Edge-on shots there. Retracted, it's time to exert again. There it is. And there we go. Checking pips. Making sure system's capacitor is full. Wow, the NPCs have already exerted a heart? There's a swarm of them all over it. Dropped the shield and exerted a heart pretty quickly. They do get weaker each time a heart is destroyed, so by the end here it's only got a fraction of the hull strength that it used to have. I think probably one of the NPCs triggered the lightning attack and that prevented the shutdown field. And then if we look carefully, it's hard to see through all the distortion, but right there, that was the heart kill. I wasn't sure at first, but then I heard the roar. So that was the last heart. So I'm trying to stay close because I knew just there the shield goes down and knew they were going to get it pretty quick. we'll just finish it off while it desperately fires more caustic missiles.
Target destroyed. Heat sink deployed.
And the scenario didn't quite complete, so we'll need to play the scout killing game to finish this one off. It's too close for another interceptor to show up. So as usual, I'll look for scouts being targeted by NPC ships and help them along with my laser. Now, since the system was completed, since the system control was repelled while we were in here and my contributions to the war no longer count in this system, I did not stay to fight the Hydra.
Target destroyed.
But to make it a good AX conflict zone video, I will slap on the footage from a different scenario, also in a medium AXCZ. We'll just grab the end where we fought the Hydra at the end of that. So there's the end of this scenario, 10 million voucher. And I'll do a little edit here over to a different scenario.
Hit the Hydra! Hit it with everything you've got!
And in this second scenario, there was other commanders in the instance with me. So here's that one ending, 10 million. Checking over my modules to see that everything's in decent shape, refilling heat sinks, because if we're gonna fight Hydra, you want a lot of heat sinks.
Hit it with everything you've got.
Ammo's in okay shape for now. There it is. So there's at least 3 other commanders in this instance with me. We're just in open. I don't know any of them, not in any voice chats or anything, so this is just the chaos of the fight. Hydra focuses first on me. How nice. Get a nice heart exerted there. Duck and boost under that swarm. Firing a heat sink whenever it looks like the Hydra is going to face me. Down and boost again to try to keep an orbit going. Another heat sink. Heart's retracted, we'll need to re-exert. Throwing on whatever damage I can. And there it's exerted again. There we go. Finished it with a little edge-on shot. First heart down. Going to refill the heatsink launchers. Each launcher was down to just 1. So that's not enough for a Hydra attack run, for sure. The heatsink launchers are refilled, just waiting on that shield, and there it goes. Out. Depending on the angle, it can be really difficult to see which one it is when the red glow goes all over the interceptor as the heart first comes out. Sometimes you have to wait for it to fade before it's clear which one is which. Retracted, so we'll just pour on a bunch more damage, bring it back out. There we go. Retracted again. Good range control here. And there's the hearts out, and my heatsink lapsed, and I didn't notice for a second. So it took some damage here, but got the heart. So it'd be time for a repair limpet now. And check on those modules. Just about killed that first module reinforcement, but everything else is reasonably healthy. 3 sinks in each launcher. Checking on my ammo supply, still in good shape there. Watching for that swarm over my right shoulder. And the shield is down. Attacking resumes. So it looks like nothing's on the scanner here, but the other commanders, at least a couple of them are still here with me right now. They are just cold enough to not show up on the scanner. You can see somebody's laser there. And another one shooting Gauss rounds. Heart has exerted. I'm looking, I saw that missile alarm and looked toward the swarm, but it was caustic missiles, I think from a scout. So we're safe. Another caustic missile alarm. This one I do need to turn to avoid. A little late on that heat sink, took a little damage, one volley to the face. Now we're doing pretty well. Falling out of range, so I need to boost down to try to restabilize that orbit. Put up a lot of good damage, boost down again. Decent range. And the heart is exerted. Keep those heat sinks going, and the hydra is reloading. And just in time too, because that was my last heat sink, which I'll notice here in just a moment. Right there. Yeah, switch to the lasers and orbit while they refill. Somebody else will have to take the shot on the heart. Make sure I don't get hit by that. Cancel my synthesis. Start the other one. Check modules. Could use a top off. And a repair limpet could be used. We are in the middle of an attack run, but I think I'll probably do that. Yeah, there it is. If the Hydra's focusing other players, it might not get shot off. We just checked the repair limpet controller is at 77%, so it could start to malfunction. In my experience, those aren't too bad. Sometimes I have to push the button twice is all. So I've left it for now. Go in and attack here with these guys. Oh, damage. Caught me flying backwards. Lazy with the heat sink again there. Late to push the button. There we go. Got the heart. So once again, back down to 74 hull. That was a bit of damage that probably could have been avoided. Ooh, and one of those guns took a lot of damage. I'm refilling the ammo on it, but it is at 69%, so I will need to do a repair on that as well. Quick check of the heat sinks, in decent shape there. Throw a repair limpet on. And now it's time to start the repair on that gun. And the module reinforcement package too while we're at it. Looks like some other commanders are back. Some people may have stepped out to refresh their ships and come back. Not sure. In a moment here, a scout is gonna pop up out of nowhere and sucker punch me with a caustic missile. Right here. What a jerk. Shoots my limpet off with it. So that gun's in decent shape. Yeah, we're all set. We'll be ready to go by the time this shield drops. Turn the gun back on. Shield is still up.
That's the last of them. Great job, Ace. We couldn't have done it without you.
So, we just got a bonus scenario complete message. 20 million credits just got paid for defeating the Hydra, which, as you can see, is not yet defeated. We're less than 15 kilometers from the center of the conflict zone, so it's not like we got too far away or something, but I don't know. So a little bug happened there, and it basically paid out for completing the bonus scenario early. No matter to me, I'm gonna stick around and finish off this Hydra. But it does mean that another conflict zone scenario starts in the background while we're fighting it, so that's interesting. Just there, I got 80,000 credits for destroying a scout. I don't know how I did that. Perhaps my laser accidentally hit it while I was firing on the Hydra. But anyway, the shield is down. I need to be moving in and joining the fight here. I've got my ship all topped up and ready to go. I try not to use boost very much when I'm closing in for an attack like this, because the ship just gets going too fast and I can't properly orbit. You end up jousting instead, which I don't want. But Thargoid did boost away, so I needed to add some boost. It looks like we have an exerted heart that I would love to shoot. And it's retracted. I missed it. And the heart's back out. A few decent hits. And right here, this commander getting hit with the lightning attack is going to finish this heart. Right here. Pop. And there's the new conflict zone scenario beginning in the background while this Hydra is still alive. didn't get focused, I think, at all in that last attack run and didn't fire a single heat sink. Shield's about to drop right here. Ready to attack. Is exposed. Managing to roll over the swarm. Don't like when they're beneath me from my field of view, but that worked out okay. And there goes the heart. Refilling that shard cannon and the other on that trigger. Refilling heat sinks. Throwing on a repair limpet, taking care of all the business. I'm gonna refill that systems capacitor too while we're at it. That swarm managed to shoot off my repair limpet, even though they're above me, which is very annoying. Oop, missile alarm. Boost to avoid the swarm missiles. And the shield is down, the attack is on. Almost got hit by those caustic missiles. Hydra caustic missiles are particularly nasty, so I was very glad to avoid that. backwards. Quick nose down to get some more angle. And there's the heart exerted. Which one is it? I can't tell. Am I getting the right one? Yeah, I was getting the right one. Okay, good. We're a little out of range here, but still shooting. Hoping my friend with Gauss there is able to make some good clean shots. Gauss is really a better weapon for shooting down hydra hearts especially, but not my favorite to fly with. Heart is exerted again. Keeping those heat sinks going. Decent range this time. That's a missile alarm that I should really heed. Where are they coming from? Yeah. It was good to boost before I looked that time, or those would have definitely connected. Ended up all on my own over there for a while, which is nice in a sense because it's easier to hit hearts when the Thargoid is focusing on you, but I did spend down a lot of my heat sinks, and I think that heart is pretty heavily damaged. So 3 heat sinks left. If it's fighting some other people, I could probably get away with participating with only 3 heat sinks. So those caustic missiles were fired from scouts, not too much of a concern. We'll keep firing on the hydra. And that was my last heatsink in that launcher. I'm gonna start the synth there, but we hear the Thargoid roaring, and then right there, that last Gauss shot just took out the heart. Check damage on modules here while we have a breathing moment. Make sure I don't drift too far away. A little flyby of the swarm there, and they deftly destroyed my repair limpet. That shield is still up, so I'm not starting the attack yet. deciding to repair this shard cannon. It's at 83%. May as well top it off while we're waiting for the shield. Shield is still up. I see them firing ghost shots over there, so I checked, but... and now the shield is down.
Successful. Module repaired.
So turn that gun back on. Quick scan of everything else. I think we're good. Hearts exerted. Let's shoot. So here we're about to finish off this heart, but then the Thargoid just stops dead in space. It surprised me because I boosted at him. So, a little minor collision. Did some hull damage to my ship. And there's the shutdown field. And I think I was a little late hitting that button, but I didn't get shut down, so maybe a nearby commander covered me. That means we're almost there. Shield has just broken. Again, boosting in a downward direction, so I'm not just going to go flying past it. And this time boosting forward, but with the landing gear as a brake. Try to control that forward velocity. Where it's exerted. Caustic missile. I boosted, but I don't think they were coming from the Thargoid. Yeah, they're coming from the scouts there. Clumsy boost orbiting, and that heart is retracted, but I've still got heat sinks, so I'm still here. Out of ammo basically in that right side cannons. Let's back out. To wait for my magazine to reload this time, so they only have one side running. Yeah, synth ammo? Yes, I am. If it was just hull, I don't think I would have done that, but... Re-exert. There it is. Heat sinks are still in stock. And now the left side's out of ammo, but I got plenty on the right. One more heat sink left. There it goes. Got it. So that's just hull now. Now I'm deciding that I don't need to refill my heat sink ammo because with everybody here and there being no hearts remaining, once the shield drops, we'll be able to kill this quickly enough. I would be able to throw on silent running if I needed to. And repairing that module reinforcement, even though it's at 93%. No consequences to that, after all. And this is going to be the end of this Hydra. So anyway, I hope you had fun watching the medium CZ scenarios. This was a long one since the main scenario was done solo. But it was a very fun one. A lot of kills on this. So there's the shield going down. Time to shoot this thing out of the sky. Boosting down to avoid its caustic missiles. Using a little laser to cool off when it faces me, since I'm out of heat sinks. And it turned away so we can shoot again, and there we go. She's done. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Targoid interceptors coming in hot. Watch yourself, Commander.